Hello everyone and welcome to the F1 corner after a crazy qualifying session in Turkey that saw Lance Stroll taking pole position for a Racing Point, breaking the Mercedes streak of taking every pole so far this season. We'll get to that in a moment because I am still pretty speechless. The quali session finished about 5 minutes prior to recording this. As usual, remember to hit the like button and to subscribe. And let's start with Q1. So, in Q1, starting on a very wet track, actually there was a red flag 10 minutes, 12 minutes into Q1. So, session was stopped because it was too dangerous and the times were just not there for the drivers. It was more luck than actual driving skills. Session restarted. Another red flag caused by Romain Grosjean with 3 minutes and 30 left in the session. And then from that point, session restarts. 3 minutes 30 to go. It's game on for everyone. So we're out in Q1. We're unlucky. Kevin Magnussen, Daniel Kvyat, George Russell, Romain Grosjean, and Nicolas Latifi. They all have a reasonably good reason for being out. Nicolas Latifi, as you can see by maybe the red square here, spun and could not complete his lap, was stuck in the gravel, so could not improve his time. Romain Grosjean, I just mentioned, also took himself out in the gravel and causing a yellow flag of his own, a red flag of his own. George Russell spinning on his last lap also, cannot complete a fast lap. Same for Daniel Kvyat, and Kevin Magnussen got impeded by all of those yellow flags because he came in as they were in, caused by Kvyat and Russell. So it's really just tough luck for those guys. They were just not lucky. They could probably have made it to Q2 if they had not spin. But the important part is that the track was improving and times were starting to drop significantly. And it just means that Q2 and Q3 would be very exciting. So let's go to Q2. As you can see already, the times a lot slower, actually faster, than they were in Q1. You can see in Q1, Sergio Perez 15.27, and in Q2, 10th place, Daniel Ricciardo 154. That's a whole 13-second difference. So we're out in Q2. Lando Norris, Sebastian Vettel, Carlos Sainz, Charles Leclerc, and Pierre Gasly. Gasly could just never make his tire works. He tried on the intermediate at the beginning, that was not working. Put on the full wet tire, but not enough time to bring them into temperature. Cannot do anything, will start in 15th place. The Ferraris, Leclerc and Vettel, could never find pace under the wet condition. We don't know why. They should have made it to Q3, because just looking at Leclerc and the times he's had in practice session this morning, Charles Leclerc, pretty good time on a wet track, and just could not find anything. And same for Vettel, though for once Sebastian starts in front of his teammate, so that's good news for him, I guess. And the two McLarens also struggling under the wet condition. At this point, it's a bit of talent and also which car can bring those tires up to temperature the best. So we can bet that the Ferrari and the McLaren are struggling a bit more to bring heat into tires. And that's what happens. Lando Norris out of Q3 for the second time in 20 races only. Sebastian Vettel 12, Carlos Sainz 13, Charles Leclerc 14, and Pierre Gasly 15. And now on to Q3. Well, that was unexpected, is pretty much all I can say. Both Alfa Romeos in Q3 Both Racing Point in the top three. Lewis Hamilton in sixth and Bottas nine. Um, okay, let's just start with 10. Antonio Giovinazzi, like we usually do. Let's start at the bottom. Good job for both Alfa Romeos. Giovinazzi spinning on his last lap. That's why he's so far off the pace to ninth place. But still, good job. Q3 for the first time for Alfa Romeo this season. And I don't know if they can keep it up tomorrow during the race. There is some rain expected, so that would really spice things up. But good job. Great result under the rain. Valtteri Bottas will be disappointed by that. He needs to outscore Lewis Hamilton by 8 points this weekend to bring the championship fight to Bahrain in 2 weeks. This is not starting well. He will start in 9th position. Kimi Räikkönen for the 500 Grand Prix of Sauber and also a team where he started. 8th place. Great result in front of the Mercedes of Valtteri Bottas. They were just really good under these conditions. The two Alfa Romeos, the only team to stick with the full wet tires in Q3, and it did not really pay off. On the intermediate, maybe they could have done better. The other teams all switched to intermediate at some points. Esteban Ocon, not bad, all things considered. 7th place for the Renault. That will keep the fight for third place in the championship alive. Obviously helping them when you look at McLaren, who's currently in 11th and 13th. They will have a tough time to get back in the points, but everything's possible. Lewis Hamilton, 6th place. Will be disappointed of not doing better, but on the bright side, is in front of his teammate, meaning that he only has to finish in front of Valtteri to assure his world championship this weekend. So 6th place for Hamilton. This also means that for the first time this season, there is no Mercedes on pole position. They are not taking that record with them this season, it seems. Alex Albon, 5th place. Looked like it could have been a Red Bull 1-2 at some point during the qualifying session, but unfortunately struggling a bit compared to Max Verstappen, 4 seconds of the pace, but Verstappen, to be fair, was in a league of his own today. Not bad overall either. 5th place under the rain. I think it's very respectable, especially considering that he will start in front of both Mercedes. So they bring the fight to Mercedes this weekend. Good job for Alex Albon, who is still trying to secure a seat for next season. Daniel Ricciardo, 4th. Good job. Was also a bit in a world of his own. We know he drives well under the rain. And just we'll start 4th. I mean, it's tough to analyze anything from this session except from talent of the drivers and luck of the draw because of all the craziness that was happening. And we get to our top 3, speaking of craziness. Sergio Perez, Max Verstappen, and Lance Stroll on pole. For a moment, we had hope that the 2 Racing Point could lock the front row, but Sergio Perez, spinning on his last lap, also stuck behind Antonio Giovinazzi, could not improve his lap time, and therefore will start in 3rd, but will be super happy with that, and they can just, it will help them for the fight in the championship. Max Verstappen, disappointed, was also stuck behind Kimi Räikkönen for a while, and could not bring in the temperature and the lap time that he needed. But still, on the front row, everything can happen. They have a better car than the Racing Point in theory, so at the start tomorrow, Max Verstappen could take the lead. And finally, the man of the day, Lance Stroll, the first pole position for the Canadian, the first Canadian on pole position since a certain Jacques Villeneuve in Europe 1997. It's been over 23 years since we've seen a Canadian on pole position in Formula 1. This is just good for the sport. Great job. We've seen in the past that Stroll can be good in the rain. He qualified second in Monza a few years ago. And today, well, tomorrow, we'll start on pole position. No one in front of him. The race, if it's in the wet again tomorrow, is his to win, actually. Um, we'll see what are the track conditions. We know that even in the dry, it's going to be very tricky because the track has just been resurfaced and is very slippery, even with the slick tires. So big shout out to Lance Stroll. Great job. We'll start on pole. Behind him, Max Verstappen. Sergio Perez. Good job for Racing Point also for him. Third place. Daniel Ricciardo fourth. Alex Albon fifth. Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton only sixth place. Esteban Ocon seventh. Kimi Räikkönen eighth in front of the Mercedes of Valtteri Bottas. And Antonio Giovinazzi completes the top 10. Thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this. Please hit the like button, subscribe, and I will see you again tomorrow after the Turkish Grand Prix live from Istanbul. See you next time.